everyone, and welcome to the Kiki London YouTube channel. My name's Amanda, and in today's video we are going to be doing a fun summery watermelon nail art design. This design was actually inspired by one of the other Kiki London ambassadors. Her name is Nails by Days. I will leave her Instagram handle linked in the description box below, but she gave me the idea to do some fun watermelon nails, so I really hope you all enjoy watching. And of course, if you have any requests of any particular designs or tutorials you would like to see, please do pop them in the comments below. So starting off on the first nail, I want to have a jelly pink base. So there isn't actual jelly colors, but you can create your own jelly colors very easily. All you need is your color and your base coat. So I'm using the Hema free base coat here today and Paradise Red. And to get the jelly effect, usually you want to have a ratio where there is more of your clear base coat than the color, but it is going to differ depending on the color you're using. So here I'm using Paradise Red, and I want to have this kind of like Barbie pink, quite a dark pink actually, base, and I want to have that jelly effect. So I added in a little bit more base coat, and it's really important that you really mix these together well. I find the round nail art brush great for mixing it together on my palette and then applying it straight to the nail. So when you're mixing it together, you want to make sure that there's no streakiness, no marbling. You've thoroughly mixed that base coat in with the color that you've chosen. And then I do still like to apply this in 2 coats just so it looks nice and even, and that's why you want to make sure that you've got more base coat compared to your color so that you can get 2 coats down without losing that jelly effect. So as you can see, I applied my first coat, kept it nice and thin, applied it the same way that I would apply any other gel polish, cured that for 30 seconds, and then we're coming in with that second coat. The second coat is going to give us a little bit more opacity, but you can see we've still got that dark rich jelly pink, and I absolutely loved it. I'd done this recently with black as well and created a jelly black, which was really fun. So if you are wanting to do a particular jelly style design and you're thinking, oh, I don't have any jelly colors, definitely experiment around, because you can have so much fun when you are experimenting and playing around with nail art. And then over the top of that, I've come in with the Diamond Dust top coat because I want to have a sparkly effect to the nail. And just look how pretty this holographic glitter looks over that pink jelly base. Now on this nail, for our watermelon design, to tie in sort of the watermelon theme, I'm going to take Pistachio and Parrot Green. And all 4 of the colours that we're using here, we've used 3 so far. We are also going to be adding in Watermelon Sugar. Those 4 colours are all from the Exotic Summer collection, which is a collection I very highly recommend checking out for the summer. All of the colors in that collection are all complete must-haves. So I'm going to take my stripe liner brush, and as you can see here, I'm really rolling it into the gel polish. And I had some questions on how to use the stripe liner brush over on my own Instagram, and this is one of my best tips. You want to make sure that you're really rolling your stripe liner brush into your gel polish. This is going to make sure that you haven't just got your gel polish on the outer bristles, you've got it going through all those inner bristles. If you just wipe your stripe liner brush through your gel polish, it just coats the outside, and you can end up with kind of like a drip at the bottom. And then when you go to place it down on the nail, it's impossible to get a nice, neat, crisp, sharp line because you haven't got any gel polish distributed between those inner bristles. So really take your brush and roll it into your gel polish, roll it around, and then just wipe off the excess. So as you can see, I created my watermelon rind shape going along, kind of like a cuticle cuff but a bit wider, and then I've cured that. And then on the second coat, we're actually going to ombre the Parrot Green and the Pistachio together. So I'm taking the Parrot Green and popping it up closer to the cuticle area and coming around in a curve, and then I'm going to clean off my brush and keep that Parrot Green wet, and then clean off my brush, come in with Pistachio and blend those 2 together just to create a little bit of dimension. And blending the 2 colours together is really simple, but it does just add a really nice effect to the top part of the nail. So again, I've loaded up my brush with my gel polish, and I'm just coming along, making sure that that Pistachio and the Parrot Green meet. And then I'm just going to blend these together with my stripe liner brush because it's quite a small surface that we're working on. You could also do this with your ombre brush, but if you're working close to the cuticles, sometimes it can be a little bit harder, so a smaller brush is easier. And I only very slightly blended them together. I wanted to have a bit of a textured effect. Cleaned up with my round nail art brush, popped that into Cure, and that is this nail design done for now. We are going to be doing a little bit more nail art with our top coat, so we'll come to that further along. On to the next now, I'm going to start off by doing an ombre. So I've got True Nude, which is the latest nude from the Hema Free collection, and then Watermelon Sugar. And it was this nail that was inspired by Nails by Days. I think she might have used a different coloured nude, but I wanted to try this ombre with True Nude. But I really loved this design. It is basically a pink and nude ombre base and then a green French tip. And I just thought it looked dreamy. She did a full set of them and I was obsessed. So what I'm going to do is I've placed my two colours down. I'm going to take my ombre brush and blend these two colours together. And I'm not going to lie, this was a bit of a tricky ombre because Watermelon Sugar is so bright and so pigmented, and then True Nude is so creamy and light. So whenever there is two colours that are going to be a bit tricky to blend together, you've just got to blend. Spend a little bit more time on your blend and they will blend. Luckily, both of these colours, like a lot of the Kiki London colours, have quite a creamy consistency, so they blend nicely. So as you can see, I'm taking my ombre brush, blending straight where those two colours meet. And then I want to keep a lot of the pink. We only really want the nude on the very sort of more tip end of the nail. So I'm taking that Watermelon Sugar and bringing that down into the nude a little bit more. And then this is the first coat. Your first coat in your ombre, you don't have to stress too much about perfecting this because you don't actually see this blend. We're going to obviously see more of the blend on the second coat. So this was the first coat. We're going to pop that in to Cure for 30 seconds. And what I always do as well, before popping the nail into Cure, I leave it for a few seconds just for the gel polish to self-level. After you've been playing about with it with your ombre brush, you tend to put brush strokes into the gel polish. So just leave it for a few seconds to self-level, and then those brush strokes will disperse. Then we're going to do exactly the same again. Watermelon Sugar, cuticle area to halfway down the nail, and then a True Nude on the tip end of the nail. So I'm going to take my ombre brush, blend that harsh line where those two colours meet. Let's get rid of that harsh line, create our transitional colour, and then I'm going to start taking that transitional colour into True Nude. So here you can see I'm just still perfecting that Watermelon Sugar line here. I want to soften that as much as possible, and then here I'm going to take the transitional lighter pink shade that we've created and blend that in with the True Nude, and I just keep blending. And whenever my brush goes out of shot, that's when I'm cleaning it off. You don't want to allow too much gel polish to build up on your brush, as it will kind of affect how you're blending and you may end up taking too much of one color into the next. I was then quite happy with how this ombre looked. It was really cute color combination. So we've popped that in to Cure for 30 seconds, and now it's time to do our French. So for the French, I'm going to be using Parrot Green. So I'm loading up my French brush here, and I noticed I just didn't have enough gel polish on my palette. I like to use a generous amount of polish when I'm using my French brush. So I've loaded up both sides, and then I'm simply going to hold my brush flat against the nail and create the top part of that French tip design. And then using the long wing part of the French brush, I'm going to drag this French down because I want it to have a nice deep C curve, just like how the design that Nails by Days did. She had quite a nice deep C curve, and I really loved that look. Now, I always like to do two coats with Parrot Green, but I always like to do two coats with my French tip. So before popping that first coat into Cure, I'm just going to take my round nail art brush and just come along. The French nail brush makes French so much easier to do when it comes to getting a nice even shape to your French, but I do always like to come in with that round nail art brush and just go along the edge just to get it super crisp. So once you're happy with your first coat, you're going to pop that in to Cure for 30 seconds, and then you're literally going to repeat the exact same steps. So load up your French brush and literally place it flat against the nail and come down on both sides. As you see here, just pressing it down, popping it right where we've got that first coat down, and then just dragging it down, evening out the gel polish, and then using the longer part of the brush, we're going to sweep down and create that deep C curve, sorry, deep wings of the nail. So we've got a nice deep C curve to that French. And then I'm just touching up anywhere I feel that needs to be a little bit more gel polish and where I want my gel polish to look a little bit more even. And then again, I will come in and clean up with my round nail art brush because I love the sides and where it curves on the round nail art brush. So you've got your curved top and then it comes down to a nice straight side. This is brilliant. You just a little bit of alcohol, a little bit of pressure, and you get a nice crisp clean up to your C-curved French or your deep French, whatever you prefer to call it. So we popped that in to cure and I loved this nail. On to the next nail, we're going to do a base of True Nude. So I like to try and, if I'm using one particular nude colour in a design on one nail, I like to continue that same nude through the set, just so it looks a bit cohesive. I'm not necessarily sure if you would want to wear all 4 of these nails in one particular set. Obviously, it depends how brave you are. But if I am doing a full-on design set like this, I would try and keep with the same nude, the same pinks, so the set flows nicely. So we've done 2 coats of True Nude, and on this now I want to do some juicy drops. But first of all, I'm gonna do a matte top coat, and this is because on this nail, like on the first nail I mentioned, I'm going to do some nail art with my top coat. What I meant is I'm going to use a combination of matte and glossy for the finish. So I want my base in this design to be matte and then my juicy drops to be glossy. So we've got that matte top coat down to give us a matte base. Then I'm going to take some watermelon sugar, and you will need a large dotting tool if you want large drops to do this. So I just found this old one in my nail art drawer and I've placed down 3 dots, and they're going to be the bottom part of our juicy drops. And then I'm going to take my strap liner brush and just pull up towards the top of the nail, so right up to that cuticle, starting off with a nice thin line, and then I'm just pulling the gel polish from the drop to thicken that line up. Now, whenever I do this kind of design, I worry that my drops end up looking a bit too Halloween-y and having a bit more of a dripping blood effect. So I kept these ones quite round to help give off more of that juicy vibe rather than a Halloween vibe. Then once you're happy with your drops, you're going to take your strap liner brush and come around the cuticle area. And then I'm just going to round off those lines that we pulled up so they don't look like they're straight. You want to create that dripping effect. So there would be a bit of a curve. Let me know in the comments below how you do your juicy drop nails, because I see so many of these and it's actually a design I feel like I struggle with. Like, it looks like it should be quite simple, but I found it quite hard to get the drops to look exactly how I wanted them to be. But I do love the look of the pink being glossy over that matte base. We haven't top coated that pink yet. We will do all the top coating at the end. On to the third nail. This was a bit of a practice for me as well. So I really love the nail designs where you've got an ombre base, but then a milky white over the top, but you still see the colours coming through it. And I haven't yet quite perfected how to create that effect, but this was probably one of my better attempts at it. And it worked really well because we're using quite bright colours. So we're going to start off by doing a 3-colour ombre. You could also do this design with a 2-colour ombre as well. But I've got Paradise Red, Watermelon Sugar and Parrot Green. And we're going to blend all 3 of these colours together. Now, because you're coming over the top with a milky white, you don't necessarily need your ombre to be perfect because you're not actually going to see too much of it. So I'm just going to take my ombre brush and blend the colours together. Now, Paradise Red and Watermelon Sugar, they blend together beautifully. Coming in from a pink to a green is going to create a bit of a different transitional shade, but that's okay because it will then pull the blend together and it created this kind of orangey brown colour, which worked quite well. So I'm just blending all 3 of those colours together, doing the ombre exactly the same as you would if you were doing 2 colours. You're just working in a smaller area. So again, whenever I'm doing any kind of ombre, you're going to do 2 coats of it to get a nice pigmented colour and to get that perfect blend. So we've done our first coat. We're going to come in and do our second coat. Now, when you are applying your gel polish to your nail for your ombres, you always want to be careful that you're not getting any of the previous colour on your next colour's bottle brush. So do be careful. For example, if I'd got Watermelon Sugar on my Parrot Green brush like I did here, I just cleaned it off screen on a little alcohol wipe just so I'm not popping that Watermelon Sugar into my bottle. So we're going to blend using the ombre brush, nice light feathery strokes. I do work quite quickly, but obviously the video is sped up, so it looks like I'm working even quicker than I normally would. But I'm just nice light, quick feathery strokes to blend those colours together. I didn't spend too much time blending Paradise Red and Watermelon Sugar because those two colours, where they're quite similar, blended together effortlessly. Here you can see I've actually turned my brush the other way around, so I was working with it so it was going straight across, just so it wasn't picking up too much of each of the colours to help bring that transitional shade in the centre together. And then again, once I'm happy with this, we've popped in quite a few brush strokes. I will leave it to sit for a few seconds before curing to help minimize those. But once you come over with your top coat anyway, it smooths out that so you don't see that textured effect, if that makes sense. Now, so the main part of this design is making your ombre look milky in the kind of center. And I've seen it done a couple of different ways. And I think where I went wrong on this particular design is I should have done 2 coats of the white. So we're going to put our ombre into cure. And then for the milky white, I chose to use RB09. Now, RB09 is a rubber color base coat. It's a milky white base coat. So you can use this on your nails as a base coat underneath any of your gel polish colors, or use 2 coats of it for a full milky white nail. But I absolutely love this color for any kind of milky nail art. So I'm coming over the top of the entire nail with a thin coat of this, which is going to give off a hint of a milky effect. Then I'm just going to pick up a small bead of it and just run it down the center of the nail, because a lot of the time with this design, the strongest part of the milky white is down the center. So I'm just working this down the center of the nail, and then I'm going to take my striped liner brush to help pull that into place. And then what you want to do, or what I see in the design, is the edges don't have too much of a milky effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my striped liner brush and pull some of that white gel polish back into the center. So kind of like removing it from the edges of the nail, especially around that cuticle area, because you really want the pink to pop and kind of fade into that white. And I did like the effect, but I think next time I definitely will come over with a second coat down that center part of the nail, just so it looks a little bit more milky. But this is what the design looked like. One of the things I absolutely love about nail art is the fun you can have, play around and experimenting in new designs. Here is all 4 of our nails done. So we're going to come in and top coat. Now I'm using the Kiki London Hema no wipe top coat for my glossy top coat. I'm really loving working with this top coat. It's got a beautiful thin consistency and a beautiful high shine, and it is also Hema free, so it's great for anyone who has Hema allergies. If you haven't already checked out the new Hema free range, then I would highly recommend it. There is a video up on the channel, and there's basically a base coat, a top coat, and 6 shades, which we will be adding to those shades as well. Now on this design, I wanted to have the pink part of the nail glossy and the green part of the nail matte. Now technically I didn't actually need to do the glossy top coat because we'd applied the glitter top coat, but I completely forgot that that was a top coat. So I come over with the no wipe top coat anyway, and then we cured that, and then we're coming in with our matte top coat, and I love the effect that it gives off. It's super simple, but it adds something extra to the nail, just gives it that textured 3D look. Same goes with this now as well. So we've already got our matte base done on our True Nude, so we're going to come in, pop a little bit of the no wipe top coat on our palette, and then taking the striped liner brush, you want to just come over your juicy drops with your no wipe top coat, and just be really careful that you only get it on the pink areas. If you do get any of it on the nude part of the nail, then just wipe it off with a little bit of alcohol before curing, because you want to keep that super matte base, and then that's going to kind of again make the drops look a little bit more 3D on the nail. And then we're going to just pop that aside. The other 2 nails, we are just doing a full glossy top coat. So I'm taking the no wipe Hema free top coat and just applying a thin coat of this to all of the nail. And then the new Hema free top coat does require a 60-second cure. So we will pop all of these nails in to cure for 60 seconds. And then this, guys, is the finished result. I thought they looked super fun and, of course, super fruity. So let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you did enjoy today's video, please do give it a thumbs up, leave us a comment below, and hit that subscription button if you haven't already. I hope you're all having a wonderful day and enjoy your weekend. I hope it's lovely and sunny wherever you are. Thank you all so much for watching. Lots of love. Take care. Bye-bye.